Reminder, I got merch over on my Redbubble shop. Link is in the description. Greetings, ratlings. I am a rat who is paranoid, and once again back with art to feed you starving individuals. Sorry this video is late again. Right on the days I was planning on working on this the most, I came down with the good old case of the sick and full body agony. So if my voice sounds weird and I sound tired, that's why I'm still not doing great, but it's okay. I have responsibilities. I will survive. And that's right. It's finally autumn. It's October, spooky season. So of course I had to do something themed. So I thought, what was better than a redesign of my favorite childhood show, RUBY GLOOM. I actually first had the idea to do this like a year ago and actually started some designs, but I hated it and scrapped the project entirely. I came back to finish what I started. So sit down, grab your sketchbooks, maybe some cough drops, and let's go. Let's draw. So of course I had to start with the main character, who is Ruby Gloom. The show's named after her, yes. For those of you who don't know, RUBY GLOOM is a kids show that came out in like the early 2000s about like a basically just Y2K gothic monsters living in a mansion together. Essentially. I adored this show, and honestly I think it explains a lot about me that this is what I loved watching as a child. The main character, who I am redesigning now, is RUBY GLOOM. Apparently, according to a Google search, she's supposed to be a rag doll. I was on the fence on whether or not I wanted to make her more doll-like or more human-like, because in the show, she doesn't really give very much rag doll look. One, dolls kind of freaked me out. Two, I was so sleep deprived, I kind of forgot about that entirely when I was working on this. So just cut me some slack there. I do feel like making her more human probably wasn't a terrible call, because I feel like it looks good, and I feel like it'd be really easy to ruin, to ruin this drawing by making her too doll-like. But I also feel like that could have been really cool and just made it a little bit creepier in a good way. I really enjoyed this drawing though. I was on the fence of how much I wanted to change on these designs. I wanted her to stay recognizable, but also to give her a more interesting outfit. I used the original aspects of her look from the show and converted it into something a bit cuter. I've referenced a lot of Y2K goth fashion for these designs, and especially hers. I also found looking at some cosplays really helpful, which I did do on some other designs later. We'll get to that. I found it really helpful to see like what other people were doing to make it more unique and like suitable for the real world, if that makes sense, but also keeping the character recognizable. What was probably the most important was just the red hair, the black dress, and the striped stockings. But from there, I could play around with the symbols and design and look. I also gave her a little satchel with a little crossbone heart on it, which is a little like symbol that's repeated throughout the show a lot and really cute and very her. I was tempted to also include Doom Kitty, who's her little black cat companion who I love, and I didn't because I was lazy. But I think she turned out really cute. I still do wish I'd leaned more into the ragdoll aspect, because I forgot about that, to be honest. But I think she's still really recognizable and very cute. And all in all, I'm really happy with this one. Yeah. Next one I tackled is Iris, who is a Cyclops girl. I changed this one the most out of all of the redesigns. I always really liked her character as like the gutsy wild card with no sense of self-preservation. But I always sort of hated her outfit. She kind of fell victim to the trend of drawing all female cartoon characters in a skirt or dress. And now, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against dresses and skirts, and I think they're really cute on a lot of characters. But when every female character defaults to a dress or a skirt, even when it goes against their, personality, irks me a lot. And with all of the stunts she pulls in the show, this little dress probably was not the most practical. Her outfit also resembles Ruby's a bit more than I'd like, so I cooked up just a completely different outfit for her that I think is more suiting. And I think I should also state here real quick, anytime I do a redesign video like this, it isn't me fixing it, but me putting my own twist on it for how I would go about it myself, but trying to also respect the original work, because let me say again, I love this show so much and I had so much fun drawing these characters, and I was just trying to like, you know, reimagine them, like how I would draw them, because it's a fun way to revisit it. And it's also really fun for me when I do designs like this to like design like different looks and outfits, but also find a way to keep that character recognizable. It's a fun challenge and I like it. And this one was really fun, where I try to take what was the most important and recognizable from her original look and convert that into something a little bit more functional and her. I think she turned out really cute. Drawing Cyclopses is always interesting, purely because drawing the face and not making it look just like it came out of a slow cooker when there's just one giant eye is always a challenge. But I think it worked. I think I did all right. Again, she's cute. At first I omitted her bow, but right at the end I changed my mind and threw it on. I thought her hair looked pretty plain and the red bow complements it nicely, and I didn't want to completely scrape her of anything feminine because it's cute. I like it. Once again, I'm really happy with this one, and I feel like she's still recognizable, which I call a win. Alright, this is probably the one I struggled with the most and probably like the least. This, for those who don't know, is Skullboy. He is a skeleton. Whoa, shocker, I know. And one of my favorite characters in the show. I had a lot of troubles trying to convert the heavily stylized cartoon to my style, but also not make it look completely horrifying. When I was doing the designs, I was on the fence on which direction I wanted to go. I was tempted to go like full horror look. You know, actually next year I kind of want to like redo this, but make it like really creepy, because I feel like that would be fun. But for this one, I just wanted to keep them pretty cute and chill. Much like Ruby's design, I tried to add more details and make the outfit just a little bit more interesting. I thought adding a little like skeleton ribcage t-shirt would be fun. He's a skeleton, but we see very little of the actual skeleton aspects on his design, which makes sense with animation, and all animating bones is probably hell. I also tore a hole in his jeans for like his more bones to be seen, and I thought it was a fun touch and just, you know, added a little bit more detail because his outfit was pretty plain, which good for animation, not so good for my style. I'm sure anyone who's seen my videos before can tell that all of these drawings I've been using a much more simplified style than I usually do. But when I do my full rendered looks, it takes an absurd amount of time, and I rarely have that if I want to get through all the characters I want to redesign. So the detailed render look is taking a back seat this week, which was a good call, so I could actually get to as many of these redesigns as I wanted and not like completely melt my eyeballs in hand. As fun as it is, it can be very tedious and exhausting, so doing something messier and easier was refreshing, honestly. You know, while drawing Skullboy, I also thought it would be fun to do like a cosplay for him. Figuring out like how to do the skull head would definitely be the hardest part. I would either like actually do like make like an actual like headpiece, which would be really cool, or I could just do makeup, but that's less fun. We'll see. Anyways, that'd be cool. So this was my take on Skullboy. I don't feel like I did him justice and still have no idea how to draw facial expressions on a skull, but I think he's cute, and it's not too bad now that I'm looking at it again, but still not my favorite. Okay, last one. This is Misery. She's supposed to be a banshee, I believe, according to Wikipedia, and is the like cursed with bad luck or whatever, and is always miserable, for lack of better words. I'm pretty happy with this one in the end. I do really like how she's a lot more unique from the other characters when it comes to her design, which really sets her apart visually from the cast in a really good way. I do feel like I really struggled with the fairly monochromatic purple look in my design, and I do wish there's some more contrast in the end, which is on me. But I still really like how she turned out. I do like how she has like a little green brooch, and I feel like that color contrasts really nice with the purple. If I were to do this again, I would probably try to bring that green in a lot more to the design, just more contrast and interest from like the overwhelming purples. I had a lot of fun playing with her silhouette, and I do feel like a lot of it was swallowed by her veil in the end, which I had way too much trouble with, and I'm actually not really satisfied with. I might actually go back in and try to make it more transparent so that silhouette pops a lot better. Like, maybe like before I post these on Instagram or something, because it's irking me every time I look at it, and I don't like it. Transparent fabrics have always given me beef. I don't know who they don't. On her little green brooch, there's a little spider, which inspired the cobwebs I added to her dress for more details and interest. This is one of the designs I reference cosplays probably the most for, and I feel like really helped me come up with, like, you know, ways to just make it a little bit more my own from like the cartoon. I didn't change this one too, but I didn't really change this one much, and it was just kind of fun drawing it in my style. But I liked looking at what other people did, because again, it just gives me ideas and it's helpful. I was always confused that like the clips that hold her veil on her head were little suns. I still am, but I do think it's a fun contrast to the rest of her moody design. I was considering making them green or changing them entirely, but I decided I would just keep that part pretty close to the original, so I just left them. Also, one detail I noticed is that in the OG cartoon, the character has little blemishes on her face, which I think is really rare to see as a permanent aspect of a pretty prominent character's design. Because I feel like usually in most cartoons, like, there's like one episode where a character gets a pimple and it's the end of the world, and I kind of hate those episodes. It might be something that the original character designers added as like another nod to her bad luck or whatever, which I don't like as much. But to me, I think it's actually really cute, and I wanted to keep them because I feel like it really gives the design like a lot more texture and more interest, and I think it's a really nice touch to a design that kind of grounds them a bit further in reality. I don't know, I think blemishes on characters' faces are actually like really cute, and I wish more people did it. So yeah, I kept those. Fight me. Anyways, that's all for today, folks. I certainly didn't get to all of the characters from the main cast, but I had a lot of fun with these, and now I'm looking forward to maybe doing a second redesign next year, or I go like full horror and really lean into the monster aspects. I say that now, so we'll see if I actually get there, but it's a fun prospect, I suppose. Thank you for sticking all the way to the end, and I hope you enjoyed my attempt at redesigning the show of my childhood. Again, any interaction with my content is greatly appreciated, and I'm massively grateful to any of you and all of you for your support. I hope you're all having a good spooky season, and I'll be back next week, assuming I'm alive, with more art to feed you. You ratlings remind me of like a Tamagotchi that I have to like feed, or else like you guys will just wither away and die, and I don't really want that because I care about my ratlings or something. So anyways, you are dismissed until I come feed you again in a week. You guys are like camels. I'm really tired. Ciao.